Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura. Jaya Radha Vrindavan Bihari, राधा वृंदावन बिहारी श्री राधे। जय श्री गौरांग जय राधा वृंदावन बिहारी, राधा वृंदावन बिहारी श्री राधे। जय राधा मदन मोहन, राधा मदन मोहन श्री राधे। जय राधा गोविंद, राधा गोविंद श्री राधे। जय राधा गोपीनाथ, राधा गोपीनाथ श्री राधे। जय प्रभुपदा, जय प्रभुपदा, प्रभुपदा श्रीला प्रभुपदा। जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य, अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Gaur Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj ki, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur ji ki, Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki, Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan ji ki jai, Shri Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Pad ki jai, Shri Narottam Das Thakur ki jai, Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath ki jai, Brahma Madhva Gauriya Sampradaya Acharya Guruvar ki jai, Samavit Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Samavit Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Namam Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta, Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi, Gaurvani Pracharine, Nirvisesha Shunyavadi, Paschatya तारिणे। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्य मनोयविष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेव श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सगणललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। आराध्य भगवान् व्रजेश तद्धाम वृन्दावनं रम्या काचिदुपासना व्रजवधूवर्गेण तया कल्पिता। श्रीमद्भागवतं पुराणे अमलं प्रेमपुमार्थो महा श्रीचैतन्य महाप्रभुर्मथैदं न यत्र आग्रहपरः। नवनीरदनिन्दित कांतिधरम रसोसागर नागर भूपवरम शुभवंकीमचारु श्रीखंड शिखिम भज कृष्णा निधिम व्रजराजसुतं भज कृष्णा निधिम व्रजराजसुतं राधिका सरोदिन्दु निन्दिमुखा मंडली वंदिये श्री पादपद्म वृषभानु नंदिनी वंदिये श्रीपादपद्म वृषभानु नंदिनी वंदिये श्रीपादपद्म वृषभानु नंदिनी यस्या प्रसादा भगवत प्रसादो यस्य अप्रसादा न गति कुतोऽपि दयांस्तु यस्य त्रिसन्ध्यां वन्दे गुरोः श्री चरणारविन्दं वन्दे गुरोः श्री चरणारविन्दं वन्दे गुरोः श्री चरणारविन्दं वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Hare Krishna. So, welcome everyone to the 9th session of the Guruvashtakam, Samsara Davanal prayers, known as the Mangal Aartik. And it is our good fortune to have such great Vaishnava Acharya's lineage. Our parampara is not ordinary. The best we can do is to get a little glimpse of who our Acharyas are, as described herein in the Guruvashtakam. These 8 wonderful verses composed by Shrila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur are amazing. There is the external bhajan of the Acharya, and then there is the internal bhajan of the Acharya. And for the last 9 sessions, or the 9 parts, that we have been fortunately able to describe, although we are incapable, somehow or the other, by the mercy of Sri Sri Guroho and Gauranga, we are trying to speak this as it is, as heard from the Varishta Vaishnavas, having read the books of His Divine Graces, and able to present something amongst these erudite Vaishnavas at the Govardhani village. So I beg again and again for each one's mercy here, so that I can speak this as it is, so that it will be pleasing to the audience as well as Srila Prabhupada and our Gaudiya Guruvan. So I beg that please grant me those blessings. So yesterday we described the verse Nikunja yuno ratikeli siddhai yaya alibhir yukti rapekshaniya tatra ati dakshat ati vallabhasya vande guruho Sri Charanaravindam. This is these and the previous was Sri Radhika Madhavya Rapar. These two are the core verses that describe the internal mood and the service of our Gaudiya Acharyas. It is our fiduciary duty, at least, to get that information. Realization can be very far off based on our sadhana bhakti, Vaidhi bhakti. And then the doors of Raganama bhakti will certainly open. His divine graces in our parampara are just waiting for us, just like Krishna was waiting for Gopkumar. When he entered Golok Vrindavan, Krishna welcomed him with open arms. Similarly, our Acharyas just can't wait for us to enter into Raganuga Bhakti under the guidance and the blessings of Vrinda Devi and her dasis, her maid servants, who are all manjaris, under the guidance of the Priya Narma Sakhis of Srimati Radharani. There is no such dharma, religion, faith, school of ecclesiastical school, any school of thoughts, transcendental thoughts as comparable to our Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, especially the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu flows like a non-stop river through the hearts of Rupa Goswami, of Sri Rupa Manjari. And then it bathes all the acharyas who themselves are very, very close associates of Rupa Manjari and perfectly situated in the service of Sri Radha as Radha Dasa. When we please Srimati Radharani, Shyam Sundar Krishna, Vrindavan Bihari is most pleased. And we please Krishna, Srimati Radharani is pleased. That is the symbiosis that and blessings that incessantly flow for those who have that deep desire within their hearts to reach there. First comes information. If we want to go to a distant land or a place or even buy something, then we have to have information about it. Then we will get some understanding how to obtain it. And once we obtain it, that is considered our final goal. So similarly, we have to have information about Golok Vrindavan of Raj, and especially within Raj, the topmost specialty of service and love, incomparable love in the Madhurya Rasa, that the milkmaids or the gopis of Vrindavan feel for Krishna. And amongst that gopi, the topmost gopi, Srimati Radharani. Vasudeva Ghosh, one of the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, composed a wonderful bhajan. The first stanza is, Yadi gaur na hoito, tabe ki hoito, ke mone dharitam de. Radhara mahima, prema rasa sima, jagata janata ke. Jadi gaur na hoito, tabe ki hoito, ke mone dharitam de. If Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had not appeared, Vasughosh is saying, Srila Vasughosh is saying, if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had not appeared, how would I have lived? I would have died. I would have not been able to bear keeping this body alive. And he came, Mahaprabhu came to give us the glories of Srimati Radharani. Radhara Mahima Prema Rasa Sima Jagata Janata Ki. how would the whole world have known the glories of Srimati Radharani? So these 8 verses very deeply describe the mood of our acharyas, their bhajan, and that's exactly what they have come to give us. Chakshudan dilo jai janme janme prabhu sei divya gyan hriday prakashito. So, in the previous verse, such wonderful topics have been discussed with great greed by our acharyas. Sri Radhika Madhavya Apar Madhurya Leela. Apar means unlimited. Madhurya Leela means the conjugal love, like a premi and a premika. There is a rasa, there are other rasas where the parental love, that of Vatsalya rasa, that of Sakhya rasa in friendship, and that of even Dasya. In Golok also there is Dasya rasa, as in Das, like Chitrak, Patrak, the servants of Krishna, or the other uh, servants who render service in Nanda Bhavan, etc. But our mood is neither in the Dasya mode in Vrindavan. Our mood is not in Sakhya. Our mood is not in Vatsalya, but our mood is exclusively Madhurya that Mahaprabhu came to give. So the Acharya is very, very deeply describing with great greed. Prati Shana Svadana Lolupasya. Lolupasya means with great greed. That greed has to arise, not only for the Acharya who is the beacon or the guide who is speaking, but that greed also, that Shravan Dasha should be also for us as sadhaks to constantly hear about topics on Krishna, especially when we reach the stage after Anartha Nivritti, Ruchi Nishta, Asakti. In that stage, the Shravan Dasha should increase with great greed. And when that happens in the Nishta and Ruchi stage, then in Asakti, we will be revealed our Ekadash Bhav, who we are in Golok Vrindavan, what is our service, etc. The 11 different symptoms are revealed to us. And then in the Bhav Dasha, the sadhak, the Raganuga sadhak, sadhana is there in Vaidhi Bhakti and also sadhana is there in Raganuga Bhakti. And in the Raganuga Bhakti, the Raganuga sadhak then meditates on a seva that has been given, that has been bestowed. And that is bestowed by their own greed and the greed of the Acharya, both. So the greed comes, this greed is a very, very important thing. We have it that we use in our material world. People like to collect a lot of assets. In the Upanishad, it is said that we should not take somebody's magrida kasvasit dhanam. Everybody is given according to their capacity and past karma things by Krishna. But we get greedy. Even though when there are many, many rich people, they have so much that they, even generations and generations will be able to sustain themselves from that wealth. But still their greed never stops. So that same greed that we all have, Srila Prabhupada said it should be dovetailed towards Krishna. That greed will never go away. It will always be there. But that greed should be exclusively for Krishna consciousness and advancing more and more that greed. Like, what does Rupa Goswami Pad say? He says that that if one has to obtain Krishna prema, then one should have that greed. Without that greed, one cannot obtain Krishna prema. Eka mulyam lolyam. Lolyam means the greed of the devotee who wants to obtain Krishna prema. Lolopasya. So without that, it is not possible to advance without that greed. If we think that, yes, I have learned enough, I know enough, then there is a problem. We will never advance. And having said that, we should be very careful of not being proud or puffed up, because then we will never advance. Krishna consciousness is dynamic, it is not static. And it is an illusion. Even our acharyas, like all these acharyas, they are so humble. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written bhajans that are so much and full of humility. Amar jivana sada pape ratha nahika punye ralesha pare raudvega diyachi je koto diyachi jivera klesha. My life is full of sins. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ji is writing. Just see. Amar jivana sada papirata nahi ka punya relation. I do not have even a shred of piety. Parera udvega diche. I'm giving miseries and dukkha to others. Parera udvega diyachi jivara klesha. I'm giving so much misery to all the jivas. And like that, further, he is wonderfully describing his humility. The more humble we are, the more advanced we are. And the more arrogant we are, the more degraded we are. We may think we are advanced, we may know a lot of Shastra, but we are simply jnanis, and simply the slight, although we may be in a bhakti institution, when we become so puffed up, then we are taking the notion of the Mayavadis. There is no service. So when we are puffed up, we don't want to serve others. So what that is simply the Mayavad philosophy. I am God, you are God, we are all God. We are equal. Why should I serve you? So that puffed up nature is very dangerous. So, like I was mentioning, Rupa Goswami said that greed must be there. Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavita Matihi Kriyatam Yadi Kuto Api Labhyate. Wherever we can obtain it. Very important. Sometimes we see that this Pakshpat business, being prejudiced, that only within our group, and even certain leaders also imbibe that in the devotees that are under their leadership, that you should only come to our classes, only sit within our Guru, God sisters classes, not others. Don't go here, don't go there. Within our ISKCON, this is happening. It is in some places it's very prominent. What have they learned? That is such a Kanishta thinking. What kind of leaders are they when they say that? Here, should we follow Rupa Goswami, or should we follow that puffed up so-called leader who has just studied some Shastra and now he wants popularity? Kavita Sundarim, that Mahaprabhu says. Why we are not Trinadapi Sunichena? What is the reason? Kirtanya Sadahari, why we cannot do? If we examine ourselves, Mahaprabhu has given the answer in the next verse. Because we are attracted to dhanam. We are attracted to janam. Janam means population. Many people I will lead, they will follow me. Janam. Sundarim Kavita, meaning praise. People will praise me. that pratishtha level will keep on increasing. Many sadhus can give up kamini, the association of women, or vice versa, sadhvis can give up the association of male. Kamini, kanchan, many can give up wealth. And then the renounced, but pratishtha is the most difficult and the most difficult to give up. Why? If somebody is a calculator or their smartphone, can one of you take this in your hand and open the calculator, please? Thank you. One of you. It is explained that the body is made up of the five gross elements: earth, water, air, fire, ether, and the subtle body is consisting of man, buddhi, ahankar, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Right? So there is a warehouse known as the Mahat Tattva at the periphery of the universe. When the complete annihilation or Mahapralaya takes place, then all the ingredients in these material worlds go back to that warehouse. So as an example, when let's say a building is being demolished, it's broken to pieces. So nowadays what is happening is they have the perfect recycling system. All the things that are made of earth like bricks, etc., they are taken to the quarry and then they are broken into pieces, small crushed into pieces, and then again bricks are being made from that. If there is wood, then wood is also recycled. If there is copper or iron, they are again taken to the recycling plants and then they are melted, and again new iron products are being made. So similarly, there is the warehouse of all these aggregate ingredients. And there are in, I don't know in India we still have that or not, but in the United States and Canada we have Home Depot. That is one of the biggest superstore for building materials. So under one huge, it is probably average Home Depot is maybe 20 times bigger than this hall. That big, or maybe 30 times bigger than this hall. And they store all materials for building a house, from small house to big buildings. They have everything: electrical items, plumbing items, masonry items, whatever you can conceive, anything that is required for building materials, it is there. So this is the warehouse that Krishna has made. When and in that warehouse there is earth, Prithvi. So you can start the calculation. Then after Prithvi comes uh, the water. So water warehouse is 10 times Prithvi. So 10 times, yes. So if Prithvi is 1 kg, we'll start with 1 earth. You multiply it by 10, that is water. So that is 10, right? Then uh, earth, water, air, Vayu. Multiplied that by tens, that becomes 100. Vayu is 10 times more than the quantity of earth. Then after Vayu, Agni. Agni is 10 times more. So now we are at what number? 1 into 10 is 10. 10 times 10 is 100. 100 times 10 is 1000. Then space. Multiply that by 10. How much is that? Loudly. 10,000. Then you multiply that. After the Panchamahabhut comes the subtle body, Sukshma Sharir, that consists of mind, intelligence, and false ego. Multiply that, the next level, which is Mano. Multiply that by 10. How much is that? Loudly. 1 lakh. Then Buddhi, 10 times. than the previous 10 lakh. And ahankar, multiply that by 10. How much is that? So if, for example, just to understand, if our body is made of bones, right, gross body, how many kilograms approximately, any doctors here who have studied medical science? Approximately, let's say a person is 70 kg. How much would be the earthly component in our body? Approximately. Would you say 50% by weight? Huh? How much? 30 to 40%. Okay. Right? So 30 kg. Uh, Now you multiply that 30 kg, there is so much water, that is 10 times more, 10 times more, 10 times times. So 30 kg you multiplied by 1 crore, 30 crores is our false ego. It is subtle, so sukshma, that weight. And that is why it is the most difficult to give up. Most difficult. And those who are able to go above Kamini, Kanchan and Pratishtha, then they are real Paramahansas. Whether somebody gives us a garland or somebody hits us with a juta, it is equal for them because they have zero pratishtha. That is our goal. And we have such sadhus in our movement. One particular one is not too far, just a few steps away. His Holiness Radhanath Swami. Amane na manidena kirtanya sadari. That is why we can do kirtanya sadahari when we can follow these four things. Trina abhi sunichena. Humbler than a blade of grass. Taro iva Vishnunam. More tolerant than a tree. Amane. Not to expect any respect for ourselves. And manadena. To give respects to all. Only that person can be qualified to do kirtanya sadahari. And why we are not able to acquire this, even when we are thinking so many times in our prayers, etc., because we are attracted somewhere to dhan, to people, for adoration. Kavita Sundarim. Wow, wow, wow. Wonderful. You have done wonderful. We're just waiting to hear that. Sometimes we make other people, we induce other people to praise us. Supposing somebody has cooked, let's say 5 people have cooked the prasadam. So one person will come and approach us and say, how is the dal today? Because that person has cooked dal. And then they will induce us to say, yes, it is nice. I made it, huh? So this is very subtle, sukshma. So we should be very, very careful. And I mentioned earlier during this series, if anybody praises us, which will happen because that is the nature of Vaishnavas. They always like to praise. Then we should not keep it. Not even for an iota, not even for a moment. Just like we receive it, immediately offer it to our Acharyas. Not one moment. We chant immediately in our mouths or in our minds. Jai Gurudev. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Jai Gaudiya Guruvar. Because where did we get this from? As an example, we got it from them. So it is not our sampatti. It is theirs. I had mentioned also when Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, such a great Acharya, perfect sannyasi, perfect in all respects. When his own disciples used to bow down, he used to softly say, Dasa Vasmi, I am your servant. Such a great Acharya to his own disciples, he would softly say, Dasa Vasmi, I am your servant. Srila Prabhupada's humility, when his disciples used to serve him so nicely, assist him with the books, distribution, temples, so many wonderful services they did. And Prabhupada was simply crying. Many a times it has happened. My Guru Maharaj has sent these young boys and girls to me. Otherwise, what can an old man like me do? Amazing humility. Acharyas have to be like thunderbolt because they're Guru, heavy. That's one meaning of Guru. Hmm? But at the same time, they are most softest because their heart is non-different from Srimati Radharani's. Very soft, very innocent, nishkal, nishkapat. That thunderbolt or that hardness comes just to make us understand. Please take to this Krishna consciousness. Just try to understand. Sometimes he would use the word rascal. Because we are rascals. If we really examine ourselves, I'm a rascal. I don't know about all of you. So then we have to accept. Shishya means one who accepts discipline. Shishyati. Shishya. One who accepts discipline. That is Shishya. Guru means one who is like a thunderbolt, heavy. So if we cannot accept chastisement, which is actually extra mercy, then even praise that we get from Guru. That should be the move. So Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavita Mati Kriyatam Yadi Kuto Api Labhyate. Not that only our Bhakti Vruksh leader or our such and such leader, we will only listen to their classes or only our Guru Maharaj. Kriyatam Yadi Kuto Api Labhyate. Wherever you can get that greed, go there. Rupa Goswami Pad. Very authoritative. Wherever we get that greed. I had already discussed that, the example of the joint family. When they have the joint family where the new child is born, so much love is showered by their uncles, their aunties, by grandparents, by their elder cousins, right? But nowadays, the young generation, they want their own home, husband and wife. And the child is born, they only get love from their mother and father. And sometimes when they are visiting uncles, aunties, grandparents, they get some love. Maybe on Diwali day or in the West on Thanksgiving, Christmas. Twice a year only they see the rest of the family. 2 days in 365 days. So 363 days they get love from only father and mother. But those are very fortunate when they get so much love from the entire family. So His Divine Minister Prabhupada has given such a big family. Why do we? It is our fault when we restrict ourselves and look at it through a very small lens. And only, I can only see this person sitting in the front. Only he is the one. But if I open my eyes nicely and see the entire family is full of love and we are getting the mercy if we are ready to receive it. So we should open up ourselves. Kriyatam yadi kuto api labhyate. Wherever we get it, if it is available somewhere, one must purchase it without delay. Rupa Goswami Pad says, Tatra lolyam api mulyam ekalam. Only greed. Ekalam means only. That is the price. Everything has a price. Supposing if you want to buy kirtan, you have to pay maybe 200 rupees. If you have to go to America, you have to pay maybe 1 lakh rupees for a ticket. Dhoti costs 500 rupees as an example. Everything is a price. Then even for Shuddha Bhakti, Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavita. Rasa means many meanings of the word Rasa. But here Rupa Goswami is speaking, so it is the Madhurya Rasa. So we have to have that greed to enter Raganuga Bhakti to obtain that Madhurya Rasa. Rasa Bhavita. Mati means that should be our consciousness. Not very kanishta consciousness. only them, we should not mix with them. Arey Baba, we are all under Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we are all under Rupa Goswami. Even if there is a Gaudiya Vaishnava who visits our mat, our temple, we should respect them very highly. They are part of Mahaprabhu's family. It is very Kanishta to insult them. We have seen that. And also they have done it to us. But because they are Kanishta, oh, they are ISKCON, stay away from them. No. Be mature. And even if they are saying something, speaking something, if it is perfectly in line with what our Srila Prabhupada, A.C. Bhakti Swami Srila Prabhupada is, we should accept it. Not that we should close our ears. No. But for that we have to know that who is that person? Is he really our well-wisher? Or he has some agenda that he wants to initiate disciples and take devotees out of ISKCON? But if that person is very, very a real sadhu, no harm in accepting and hearing from them. But we should recognize. And that's why we should read Srila Prabhupada's books and follow the instructions of the sincere disciples of Srila Prabhupada. And I use the word sincere. There are many disciples. But we are concerned with the sincere disciples of His divine grace. And then, with great greed, they describe Guna, Rupa, Nam, Nam. The transcendental quality is the Guna. Rupa, the beauty, the form of Krishna. For us, Rupa means Tribhanga Lalitam. Shyamam Tribhanga Lalitam Niyata Prakasham Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. For us, that Rupa is Shriya Kantaha Kantaha Parama Purushaha Kalpataravo Druma Bhumi Chintamani Ganamai Toyam Amrutam Katha Ganam Natyam Gamana Picha Vamshi Priya Sakhi Chidananda Jyoti Paramapi Tada Swadhyamapi Cha Sayatra Shirabdi Surabhivyascha Sumahan Nimeshardhakhyo va Vrajatihi Nayatrapi Samayaha. Brahma Samhita, chapter number 5, verse number 56. That I kind of call that it's our national anthem. What is the national anthem? It describes the glories of the land, the beauty of the land. Lord Brahma has described in the 56th verse of the 5th chapter the glories of Golok Vrindavan, the beauty, the Rupa, because Golok Vrindavan is non different from Sri Krishna in the Madhurya Rasa. This whole 5th verse is about the Madhurya Rasa, 56th verse. Shri Kanta Kanta Paramapurush, that Kanta is the gopis in Madhurya Rasa. Paramapurush. There is no more bigger enjoyer than Krishna in Vrindavan. That is why he is Param-Purush. There are other Purushas also. His expansions, his sub-expansions, they are also enjoyers. But Param-Purush is Krishna. Why? In Madhurya Ras, the kind of love that he receives from the gopis and he accepts. And what does the word Leela mean? Namo Radhikaya Tvadiya Priyaya Namo Ananta Leelaya Devaya Tubhyam. Leela means to, in the highest ecstasy in Madhurya Ras, Lee means to embrace. And La means to accept the embrace. Not only to embrace, but to also accept the embrace of their beloved. That is Leela. In Madhurya Ras, the meaning. Of course, Leela means pastimes. And pastimes are many. Lord Narayana, he performs pastimes. Lord Nrsingadev, he performs pastimes. Vamandev, he performs pastimes. But when they use the word Leela, when it comes to Raj, the first thing that our Acharya say, It is that wonderful reciprocation between Krishna and the gopis, Krishna and Srimati Radharani. So, Lakshmi Sahasra Sambrama Sevyamanam, Govindamadi Purusham Tamam. Same thing. Shri Akantaha Kantaha Parama Purusha. Kalpatarava. Thousands and thousands of desire trees. Shri Akantaha Kantaha Parama Purusha Kalpatarava. Dhruma Bhumis Chintamani. Same verse exactly as the 29th verse, similar. Chintamani Prakara Sadmashu Kalpa Vriksha Lakshat Prateshu. Surbhira Virpalendam. So Lord Brahma has expanded 29th verse a little bit more detailed in the 56th verse of the Brahma Samhita. Paramapurush. That is this Rupa. Dhruma Bhumis Chintamani. This entire land of Vraj or Vrindavan is made of touchstone. Chintamani. Katha Ganam Natyam Gaminam Vichar. When Krishna simply speaks, it is like a song. That is why even Vasudeva Krishna, when he is speaking, it is called Bhagavad Gita on the battlefield of Gita. Gita means song. That is his Rupa of Krishna. Guna, transcendental. Gamana Natyam Apicha. When he is walking, Krishna, it appears as if he is dancing. It looks like he is so graceful. Guna Rupa. When somebody is talking and when Krishna feels like so sweet and madhur. Madhuradi pater akhilam madhuram. So like this, Guna Rupa Nam Nam. Nam is very important. As sadhak, Gurudev or Acharyas, they have to chant. Not that it is only minimum 16 good rounds is for the disciples and not for the self. One time, later on he became my god brother, but he's very funny. He told me, I want a guru who not only chants his 16 rounds, but he will also chant my 16 rounds. He joked like that. I always remember him when I see. So funny. Of course, it was a joke. So that is sadhana, nam. But the nam takes us, transports us to the highest domain. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that it will take me to Vrindavan. Kori eto upadrava chitta varsha sudhadrava. When I chant the holy name Shuddha Nam, it creates havoc in my life. What kind of havoc? Not only it takes away all material conceptions, but also it creates havoc, transcendental havoc. The Ashtasattvic vikars, the incessant crying, hair standing on an end, cannot even pronounce the name of Krishna properly. Nayanam Galada Shrudharaya, Vadanam Gadgada Rudayagira, Ulkir Nichitam Vapu. So that is pralaya. Kape, thara thara, my body shakes. Sthira hoite na, charana pare, and I cannot even, my legs are shaking. Sthir, it's not sthira. Charana pare. How many of us, even for even one moment, we have got that when we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra? We have a long way to go, my dear devotees. Those symptoms have to come. That purity has to come. So beautiful, I tell you. Harinam is an amazing thing. It is Sri Krishna and their associates. We chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So His Divine Grace explained the meaning in a very simple form. In the beginning, the Westerners would not really understand the Raganuga Bhakti or the definition of the Mahamantra from that perspective. The Hare Krishna Mahamantra is a very deep ocean without any bottom. There are so many realizations as one chants pure name. Everything is revealed just like there is Madhurya Leela apart. Similarly, the holy name reveals so many things within our heart. Bhaktivinoda Thakur ji is saying that Bata Koilo, it talks to me. It talks to me because who is the Nam na Namina Abhinnat? They're non-different. Just like me and you, we can see each other, we can talk to each other. This is the holy name. That sound vibration is like that. It's a real personification. Nama Chintamani Sri Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. Vigraha. And full of rasa. Whatever rasa you want, it can give you. I'm going to dedicate the rest of this class today just for the holy names, and that will not be sufficient. So important. Why Nam Nam? What does that mean? The Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Srila Prabhupada in a very simple way in the beginning said that Hara means Srimati Radharani, Krishna means the all-attractive personality. We are addressing them both to engage us in their service. Perfectly said. And the most important part is we are addressing them both so that we can be engaged in their service. We are completely absorbed in this material world. How? Like Govindas is describing in Bhaja Re Man. E Shitahata Pavata Varishana E Dina Yamini Jagine Vifale Sevinu Kripana Durjana Chapala Sukhalavagire. What are we doing in the material world? What are the most of the population doing in the material world? Simply for a few pennies, for a few paisa, for a few rupees. Simply working hard day and night, all the 4 seasons. Bhata Varishana, rainy season, this season, that season. Work. For what? Who do we serve? Kripan. Kripan is one who is a miser, conjuice. Right? That is Kripan. So why are they called Kripan? Because, very nice meaning of that word Kripan. Because we all have this human body. And if we do not use it, just like a miser doesn't want to even use 1 penny or paisa, similarly, if we want to use our treasure in Krishna consciousness or developing Krishna consciousness, we are also misers. So when we go out and we work for all those persons, they are the most miserly people. Kripana. For what? Flickering happiness. Chapala sukha lavalagire. Today, my salary is 1 lakh rupee a month. Next month, or after some promotion, few months later, now I got promoted 2 lakhs, 5 lakhs a month. Where is the end? For the Chapala Sukh. And that feeling that when we get, just think about this, all of us may have experiences. Let's say we have 1 lakh rupees in the bank, in our savings account. Then let's say we, somehow or the other, from our work or other sources, we get more money and we deposit, let's say 5 lakhs. So that moment, that feeling that comes, now my account is 6 lakhs. It is so flickering. After that, we kind of forget and it becomes a normal thing. We had 1 lakh, now it has become 6 lakhs. It can become 6 crores. We get that feeling, Chapala Sukh, for a moment. 60 crores, 600 crores. It is so flickering. Do we see ecstasy 24/7 on the persons when their balance is increasing? It is only for a second, material happiness, or 2 seconds or 2 days it is displayed. But after that, what? Finished. Chapala Sukhalavagire. I think you all understood the example that I'm giving. Chapala Sukhalavagire. Therefore, bhajam re mana. So Nam is so important. Prabhupada said this, The Samam Bonam is in his explanation, but there is more deeper meanings. And Prabhupada said that, if Krishna gives me a longer life, I want to give you so much more. Translate all the books of the Goswamis. So our Goswamis have given so many different wonderful realizations on the holy name. Sri Jiva Goswami has even Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Mahamantra Deepika. Deepika means throwing light on the Mahamantra. So let's go a little bit deeper. Of course, I don't have that much time because on the Chaitanya Srishtastakam, it's all about the holy name. During COVID, I did about 22 sessions, each 2.5 hours, just on the holy names, with whatever little information I have. So in the next half an hour or so, how much can I really describe? It's impossible to describe the holy name. So Hara, what does that mean? So normally, Prabhupada said Srimati Radharani, but along with that, Srimati Radharani is never alone. The associates are present. What does Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say when we say Nam Nam Akari Bahuda? Loudly? Just this one word. Nija. This is a very, very important word. Extremely important for us Rasik devotees who are Rasik and who really, that Nija means Nandan Krishna is speaking from Vrindavan. Not Vasudeva Krishna, not Dwarkadish. No. So, it is the Krishna of Vrindavan speaking these words. And he's saying, I have invested all my internal potencies in my holy name. Nija. What is that Nija word? That Nija, it is actually in Madhurya Rasa, it can pertain to all rasas. But Nija is specifically, if we are in the Raganuga Bhav, that word Nija means my Srimati Radharani, the gopis and the manjaris. They're all present. Simple example. When somebody comes to our home, first time we introduce, this is my wife, Nija. Nija. This is my son, Nija. This is my daughter, Nija. This is my father, Nija. This is my mother, Nija. Like this we introduce. So when Nandan Krishna is introducing mine, especially in the highest rasa, which is Madhurya Rasa, the word Hara has all the manjaris, all the gopis in Swapaksha Bhav and Srimati Radha. Radharani is never, like Prabhupada said, that Krishna is never, when we say Krishna, it means with all his associates. Like when we say Prime Minister is going to America, if the news line comes, it is naturally understood that his advisors, external affair minister, that minister, this minister, they're all there. His security. One time we had gone in 1999 to Moscow with His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj. We had a small group, and why we all went is because that time Prime Minister Mr. Vajpayee, he was the Prime Minister. He was visiting, and in Moscow there was a problem that the mayor of Moscow had promised some land to ISKCON. That yes, you all can build a big temple. And later on, that mayor changed his mind. So the adhikaris, Gopal Krishna Maharaj, etc., they thought that it would be a great idea when our Prime Minister is visiting and when he meets President Putin, we can tell him to request Putin to, and mayor is nothing in front of Putin. Mahapur of a city is nothing against the Prime Minister. So if Vajpayee requests, then Putin will automatically just take one phone call, tell his PA assistant, and tell the mayor, give them the land. That was the idea of that trip. So when we came back on an Air India flight, we saw that 60% or 70% of the seats were occupied by the lower security personnel of Mr. Vajpayee. So, but we don't take every person's name who is in that entourage. When they say Prime Minister, means Prime Minister, but that means all are there. So Krishna means all his associates are present. Similarly, in the word Hara, all the most intimate associates of Srimati Radharani are present. Now, in the Mahamantra, why is it that we don't chant? If it is Krishna and Radharani only, then why don't we chant Radhe Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Shyam, Shyam Shyam, Radhe Radhe? A simple logic. And in Vrindavan, we find that they call that the Mahamantra. There is a mutt right next to Kunja Keli, diagonally opposite our hospice, Bhaktivedanta hospice. 24 hours they chant this mantra and they call it the Mahamantra. So, here we have to understand, and especially they have to understand, and even those who are simply directly chanting the name of Sri Radha, they are mistaken. There is a certain very famous Baba in Vrindavan, extremely famous. In the last 10 years, his fame has grown amazingly. Like thousands of people, they line up early in the morning by 1:32 a.m. to take his darshan. And some of them, they sleep on the footpath overnight just to take his darshan, because he comes out at about between 2:30 and 2:45. And they line up to take his darshan. And he gives the name, in Diksha, chant the name of Sri Radha. And they constantly chant Radha, 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 Radha. But let's think about this. If Radharani wanted that, if she allowed it, then why do we have this Hare Krishna Mahamantra? She is so humble that she doesn't want her name explicitly present. Even in Srimad Bhagavatam, we don't find directly the name of Sri Radha, out of her deep humility. Many authors or many donors, they say, I want to be, don't take my name. But they do a great service. Please try to absorb this information. That way we can understand how great this Mahamantra is that we are chanting. So her humility, she doesn't want to come in the forefront. She wants everybody, all her Swapaksha gopis, her manjaris, and they are also present in the word Hara. That is Nija Sarva Shaktis. When Nanda Nandan is speaking, that is his consciousness. So our Acharyas are also present in the word Hara because they are all manjaris. So when we beg for service, we cannot go directly to Srimati Radharani. We have to go through the proper parampara, and our parampara is all manjaris, all our Shuddha Acharyas. And therefore we beg for service from the topmost manjari, Sri Rupa Manjari. She engages us. Lalita Sakhi engages, Visakha Sakhi and Ashta Sakhis engage Sri Rupa Manjari. And Sri Rupa Manjari engages the other Manjari. So in the word Hara, all the inner circle of Srimati Radharani is present. And Krishna, the all attractive where? In Vraj. All the names of Krishna. So for example, even when, it's not that the Mahamantra was just invented when Mahaprabhu came. It is mentioned in the Kalishantarana Upanishad in a conversation between Lord Brahma and Naradji. How can the jivas in this Kaliyug be saved? So that conversation is through in Kalishantarana Upanishad by chanting the Mahamantra. Hare Nam Eva Kevalam Kalo Eva Nasti Eva Nasti. In Padma Puran. So many references are there. So even before like the Gaudiya Vaishnavism became prominent after Srila Madhavendra Puripad, it became more and more thicker. Ishwar Puripad, Mahaprabhu, the highest ecstasy. And further, those ecstasies were distributed to the 6 Goswamis. And then it came to our Acharyas as Rupanugas, followers of Rupa Goswami. So, what was before I give this example about the distribution of what was I saying? She explicitly does not want her name. She is so humble. Those Vaishnavas who are very humble, they don't want their name. No need. And she is the embodiment of humility. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, Anya Aradhito, that verse is the closest that it comes. That reveals Srimati Radharani name in a very subtle way. One gopi was talking to the bumblebee. So only the Vaishnava Acharyas know in the Brahmar Gita that this is Srimati Radharani, those who have understood. But otherwise, no. Maybe a lot of unqualified people will speak or read the Srimad Bhagavatam, the 10th canto, into the Pancha Maharasa Adhyay. No, I don't want to reveal. And I was saying that if Srimati Radharani is so humble and she doesn't want to reveal her name in the most sublime Prema Pumarto Mahan, Bhagavatam Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's opinion. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Matayata, Srimad Bhagavatam Purana Amalam Prema Pumarto Mahan. The highest prema can be obtained by serving Srimad Bhagavatam, not reading. It is called serving. So small words make a good impact on our consciousness. So if we are going to have an opportunity to speak on Srimad Bhagavatam or hear Srimad Bhagavatam, we should say, or read Srimad Bhagavatam, I'm going to serve Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, chapter number 29, verse number such and such. That should be our consciousness. Serve Srimad Bhagavatam. Because the Srimad Bhagavatam is what? Sri Krishna Parivartate. Transform. Bhagavat is transformation of Sri Krishna. Bhagavat is the Vaani of the Mahabhagavats, personified, who spoke. So we serve, not read, not speak, not hear. Serve Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimati Radharani's humility is so deep that she does not want to reveal her name. Now, if somebody, even in the Mahamantra, it is incognito. Only the highly realized souls will understand when we call Hara, we are addressing the entire Guru Parampara, who are all Manjaris in Gaudiya Bhav. And Srimati Radharani is the topmost gopi in that. That is why it is called Mahaprabhu, or Nandanandan Krishna says, Nija Sarva Shaktis. Our consciousness, I was saying that the Mahamantra is since time immemorial. Not that it was revealed only recently in the last 500, 600 years after Sripad Madhendra Puripad. No. Even today we find that in South India, a lot of the Vaishnava Sampradayas, they chant the Hare Krishna mantra. Previously it used to be Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. But Mahaprabhu said, no, this is all Vedic regulation. They are chanting in the mood of Aishwarya, awe and reverence. So he put Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. He has the authority to change the order. And that Hare Krishna Mahamantra who chants in this way, whether knowingly or unknowingly, ultimately will get Vraj Prem. And who chants Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, like that, then they will get Vaikuntha. Because the word Hara there means the many Lakshmis in Vaikuntha. And Krishna means the all attractive, to the Vaikuntvasis, the all attractive Lord Narayana. Krishna means all attractive. But for us, the word Krishna means Krishna in Vrindavan. Not even Vasudeva Krishna. When if we aspire for Raganuga Bhakti. That all attractive personality who constantly attracts all the gopis just by playing the flute, all the cows at Ter Kadam simply plays a certain tune and a certain group of cows comes running. Then he plays another tune and a different group of cows come. Like there are thousands of cows that gather by the attraction of his Venu. So it is the consciousness. I like to give this very simple example. In the morning, let's say it's about 7 a.m., and the son or the daughter is ready, wearing the uniform and standing by the door, and father is still upstairs, dressing up, putting his tie and his suit, and this child calls out, Papa! And then the father immediately says, Yes, beta, yes, I'm coming, I know I have to drop you to school. And the evening, the daughter is in the bedroom and Papa is downstairs, maybe reading the newspaper or on the laptop. And immediately she calls just the word, Papa! And the father knows, oh, right now it's your time, sleeping time. I'm coming upstairs, beta. I will read you a story. So the word is just Papa, but the consciousness is different. Consciousness is different. Similarly, the words can be Hare or Hara and Krishna, they all attractive. But what is the consciousness of the person chanting those names? What is the consciousness? And our Gaudiya Acharyas, when they are saying Guna Rupa Nam Nam, their consciousness is Nam, which is non-different from the Madhurya Leela, Guna and Rupa, because Madhurya Leela, Guna and Rupa are all present in the Nam. They're all exclusively present in the Nam. Therefore, when we chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we are calling out to all those Acharyas who are Manjaris that will eventually, hopefully, engage us in Radharani's service. Such an important thing. So, Krishna means the all attractive in Vraj. The one who is so attractive that Navarasa, every time when Krishna appears in front of the gopis and Srimati Radharani, he is more and more attractive. Not like the previous meeting or the last darshan. That is the meaning when our acharyas chant. They chant and meditate on that Krishna who is all attractive in Vrindavan. So we say Hare Krishna, the internal Nijasara Shaktis of Manjaris and Srimati Radharani in the word Hara, and the word Hare and Krishna, the all attractive Krishna. So here another meaning of the word Hare Krishna is when Krishna of Vraj is in union, meeting Radharani and the gopis and the Manjaris. The meeting, when they are together. Again the word Hare Krishna comes. It's like the devotee when he sees that in his samadhi, Hare Krishna, in excitement. Wow, here they have all come together. Hare Krishna. It can also pertain to so many leelas. For example, in the Ras Leela, Krishna and the gopis dance and Krishna dance with the Radharani. So the first set of Hare Krishna means the gopis and Krishna, and the second set of Hare Krishna means Krishna is dancing with Srimati Radharani. Then in the Ras Leela, Krishna disappears. So all the gopis are saying Krishna, Krishna. So like that there are so many leelas that we can do smaran. The acharyas are doing smaran on when they are chanting the Mahamantra. Krishna, Krishna, you left us here. Where are you? Hare, Hare. When they are chanting Hare, Hare, the gopis, Radha, where are you? Radhe, oh Radhe. Hare, Hare. And Hare Ram. What does Ram mean? We have been chanting for many years, some of you. I would like to open up this question. It's not a test again. It's something that kind of enthuses the devotees sometimes when I engage them. Devotees always ask questions to the person sitting on the Vyaspeed. Sometimes the person on the Vyaspeed has also that privilege to ask questions. So what does that Ram mean? Yes, Prabhuji? Very nice. And there are many word meanings of the word Ram. Ram who gives pleasure. Like when Vasishtha Muni was asked by King Dashrath, what is the name that you will give to my elder son, the oldest one? He said, I will name him Ram in the Namkaran Sanskar. One who gives pleasure. So for us, that Ram, as Gaudiya Vaishnava, is the one who gives pleasure to everyone in Braj. Further condensed into one who gives pleasure to the Sakhas, one who gives pleasure to the Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda Mai, Vatsalya, one who gives pleasure, the topmost pleasure in the Madhurya Rasa. When we churn more and more to the gopis and Srimati. That's one meaning of the word Ram. Ranjeti Ramyati iti Ramaha. One who sports, funny talks, making fun, making jokes, speaking sarcasm, like we saw in the two different pastimes that I had mentioned yesterday of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur from Chamatkar Chandrika. That is one meaning of Ram. And especially, he gives the most highest pleasure to Srimati Radharani. So that is the meaning of Ram. Ranjeti Ramyati. Raman. One who does Raman with Radharani. Radharaman. Radhika Raman. That is the abbreviation that we use for the word Ram. We are Gaudiya Vaishnavas. For Ram, those who are in the Sri Sampradaya or any other mood of Vaikuntha, for them, Ram means one who gives joy. So for them, Lord Narayana or Lord Ramachandra are giving them joy. So this Mahamantra even applies to them. Again, like I gave the example of the word Papa. It's the consciousness. Word is the same, but what is the consciousness when we are chanting those names? Make sense so far? Is everybody agreeing? Yeah? Thank you. Hare Ram. Here, it's specifically Radhika Raman, who, when she goes into the forest in Man, she leaves the Ras Leela. Then, finally, Krishna catches up with her. So, Hare Ram. Again, the union takes place. The meeting. From separation, now the meeting has taken place. Hare Ram. So that those words, for our Gaudiya Acharyas, when they are meditating, they can see all these leelas, separation, union. The Astakaliya leela, or the 8 different divisions, is simply separation and union. Ratri, midnight, that's the first section. The first 3 hours, there is meeting. Krishna exclusively meets them in the Nikunja. Nikunja Yuro Rati Keli Siddhe. In the Nikunja, Krishna meets all his most intimate associates, the Manjaris, the Gopis, Srimati Radharani. When it is the next one, Nishant Leela, when that Leela is broken, Nishant Bhanga, then there is separation. Radharani has to go to Yavat, Krishna has to go to Nandagaon. Separation. So this whole Hare Krishna Mahamantra is like that. Separation, union, separation, union. And it is a non-stop cycle. Non-stop cycle. That is why Mahamantra should never be broken. Those who are mature enough to even have a little glimpse of it. We nowadays, this has been invented in the West. Prabhupada never invented that. When newcomers came, somehow or the other it was displayed on a piece of paper or somewhere and they chanted the whole thing together. But some devotees argue, no, they are newcomers. That's why we should chant Hare Krishna, Then devotees will say, Hare Krishna. No, don't break Mahamantra. Breaking Mahamantras means we are breaking Krishna's Leelas. That is what the Gaudiya Guru feels. Supposing we are all nicely, I'm speaking, you all are very nicely hearing, and suddenly some big truck comes, makes a lot of noise, or some construction is going on, it breaks it. That lay is broken. That rhythm is broken. That leela is broken. It's disturbed. You should not do that. Always remember that. Never break the Mahamantra. And that is why for those who are chanting continuously, like Raghunath Das Goswami and all our Acharyas, they chanted. There was no minimum 16 good rounds for them. Unlimitedly they chanted. In an unlimited way. Because constantly yesterday only I mentioned, Prabhu, that we should be careful in our seva. Battery you should have fully charged and kept it. Huh? Because there are listeners online. Right now we are just talking about that bhanga, that lie has been broken. Just because of our little bit of being lax. That's why we will never be able to enter if we don't get that mood of proper seva. Nikunja, Rati Keli Siddha, they have attained that perfection for the pleasure of Ram Krishna. It is not something hanky-panky that they do. They don't even have to speak anything and they automatically know the manjaris, the heart, Sri Chaitanya Mano Abhishtam. What they desire. This is the perfect example right now that how we have broken the Mahamantra or the lie of Hari Katha. When we do seva, I mentioned yesterday at Gokul that it's the recipient of the seva should be fully satisfied. Our satisfaction is not important. But when we perform our service so nicely, automatically as a byproduct, we will be happy. Tomara seva jadi dukkha yadi hoy sehi to parama sukha. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, even in your service, if I have to go through many, many trials and tribulations, dukkha yadi hoy. But for me, I will consider it as param sukha. If with that consciousness we serve, then our seva will be perfect. Chalega, ho jayega, chalta hai. No, that doesn't happen in Nikunja seva. For never ever we will be able to enter if that consciousness, because consciousness is something that goes with us. It goes with us. And if we cannot purify our consciousness for that perfect seva, we will never become that perfect seva. Now, one will say, no, we are just practicing right now, this, that. It's true. But if we don't hear it, then how we will, no matter millions of lifetimes and births we will take, we will never attain that. Nikunja, Rati Keli Siddhya. And Tatrati Daksha, expert. And therefore they are Ati Vallabh. They are very, very dear to Srimati Radharani, to Krishna. We have to become Daksha. So whatever seva we have been given in our home here, in this world, in ISKCON, let us perform it perfectly. That way we will be able to become Daksha, experts. Where was I? I was speaking something about the Mahamantra. See, my lie got broken. I was speaking that the Mahamantra should not be broken. Right? So, and I was also speaking that Radha's name is not so explicit because she doesn't want it. And we are Radha Dasya. Prabhupada has given that example. That if I ask for a glass of water, give me water, don't give me milk. Supposing if you can give me in a Ratna Jadita cup or a glass, that is made of gold and studded with diamonds and say, I have got some nice beer for you, Prabhu, take it. But it is not conducive to me. You're trying to serve me, but I'm telling you, no, just give me a glass of water. I'm asking for that. So Radharani does not want her name to be so explicit. Then why they are giving it out so freely? Radharani Madhavati thi Bhakti Janani Jatane Palan Kari Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who is one of the topmost manjaris in the camp of Sri Rupa Manjari, has said that Ekadashi is Madhavati thi Jatane Palan Kari Prati Divase Param Sukhe Parama Adare Buri. Last line he says that in Shuddha Bhakata Charana Renu Bhajane Anukala. So Madhavati thi is Ekadashi, fasting from beans and grains, right? Madhavati is the appearances of the Lords, Ram Navami, Gaur Purnima, Janmashtami. First of all, the best thing is to drink Nirjala. The second best is to take some fruits and milk, only once a day. The third best is, okay, it's fine, but avoid beans and grains. But there are certain sampradayas of this so-called very famous Baba, they don't even do Ekadashi. Because we are already in Nikunja Seva, we don't do Ekadashi. And even the newcomers who take initiation, they are given Radha, which is Viprit to Radha's desire. When Mahaprabhu chanted Hare Krishna Mahamantra in the Gambhira, did he not get the highest result? It was his desire to get Radha Bhav. What did he do? He took Nam Chintamani. Whatever desire the Nam Chintamani means, it gives us whatever we desire. Mahaprabhu's was that I want to relish my own beauty from the perspective of Srimati Radharani. And what does she feel in her heart when she is in my association? I want to feel that. So he took Ashraya of the Nam, he took Ashraya of the topmost Vaishnavas. Rai Ramanand and Swarup Damodar, Lalita Sakhi and Vishakha Sakhi. He took Ashraya of Srimati Radharani in the form of Gadadhar Pandit by constantly hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from Gadadhar Pandit. So, if Mahaprabhu has taken Ashraya of this Mahamantra that explicitly is Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, then who are we to change it and say, no, we go directly to Radharani, and then that is all Sahaja business. Simple. One can get famous, because nowadays anybody can get famous. If you are able to SEO, search engine optimization, you employ some good techies, even a garbage video can get 1 million, 5 million views. That is not the criteria. So we are most fortunate that this is what our Acharyas have revealed to us, the meaning of the Mahamantra. Hare Ram, the union. Krishna catches up with Srimati Radharani after the Ras Leela. Hare Ram, again, the special union takes place when Krishna makes the flowers and makes Radharani sit in a place after carrying her. Twice, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Or in the consciousness of the Gaudiya Acharya, Hare Ram. Wow. Now, after separation, Radha and Krishna are again with each other. Ram Ram. Then when the other gopis are coming in that secluded place, Krishna realizes that if they find out, especially in the Ras Leela, all the 4 kinds of gopis are present, not just the Swapaksha gopis. The Vipaksha gopis are also invited. The Tatastha gopis are invited. And the Sudh gopis are invited. And of course, the Radharani's camp, they are all invited. All 4 are present, the categories of gopis in the Ras Leela. Krishna, their consciousness of the Vipaksha gopis is to search for Krishna, not to search for Srimati Radharani. Krishna left the Ras Leela, also, in a predicament. They wanted the association of Krishna when Krishna left, but Krishna left after Srimati Radharani left. The Ras Leela stopped right away, because then we know that she is the epicenter for everything in Braj. Hare Ram, Hare Ram. And then when Krishna hears all the gopis coming, including the Vipaksha gopis, then he was thinking that they will get very envious of Radharani. If they find me that I've taken her to a secluded place and we are doing our romantic vilas, vihar, then they will get envious. So let me leave. So Krishna leaves. I'm giving only one example of the separation and union. There like that, there are millions, depending on the realization. So when Krishna leaves, Radharani says, Ram Ram, Ha Nath Ramana Preshta, Kwasi Kwasi Mahabaho. Right after the Gopi Gita, this verse is there. Radharani saying, Ha Nath, oh my Lord, Ramana Preshta. So that Raman word is Ram. Raman, my dear Raman, you were just a moment ago decorating my hair braids. You are decorating so many different things, Sringaras. You are sporting with me. Ha Nath Ramana Preshta, Kwasi Kwasi, where are you? Oh Mahabaho. The word Mahabaho is used because just a few minutes ago I was tired and I could not walk any further. These strong arms picked me up. Mahabaho. When the footprints were there, there were two sets of footprints. When Radharani and Krishna together in the forest after they both left the Ras Leela. Then they saw, when all the gopis came, they traced the footprints. But only the Swapakrisha gopis could exactly tell what happened when they saw only one set of footprints. And they saw that there was the deeper impression because of the weight of Srimati Radharani in the arms of Krishna. So there were only one set of footprints. And immediately they giggled. They said, Radharani was tired and she must have told Krishna, Krishna picked me up. And Krishna immediately picked her up. That is Sri Radhika Madhavya Rapara Madhurya Leela. So Ram Ram, Nath Ramana Preshta, Kwasi Kwasi, where are you, where are you? And Radharani goes into deep separation. That Ram Ram is the highest separation in the Mahamantra. You have to feel that. And then Krishna is hiding behind a bush or a tree. Hare Hare, I am here, my dear. I am here. Hare Hare. In that he is also praising the other gopis who have already caught up with Srimati Radharani. And Radharani is crying incessantly in a lot of pain, and all the other gopis, including the Vipaksha gopis, are participating in her pain at that time and consoling her. So Krishna is praising Hare Hare. It's consciousness. Krishna consciousness, even Krishna is conscious of all this when he's chanting that Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So like this, when we become mature, when we read a lot of the wonderful, when we qualified, we read the Madhurya Leela, then the Mahamantra actually starts talking to us. Batuka Koya. I sang that song yesterday in Gokul. Krishna Nama Thore Kotoba Vishaya Vasananale Morachita Sada Jale Ramitapta Bhumi Mar Sama Karnarandra Pathe Diyari Maje Praveshiya Varashiya Sudha Anupama. Like that wonderful song, just Google it. Krishna Naam Dhore Kotobal in KK songs. The class must come to an end right now. But the realization of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur are very wonderfully expressed, including the Chaitanya Shastastakam, is expressed in this bhajan. Krishna Naam Dhore Kotobal. That's what we are so fortunate. Knowingly, unknowingly, even we are chanting, we keep to it and we increase our desire, and then we will get there. Certainly. And what is the rush? Going back to Godhead, as I said, is not very important. None of our Acharyas prayed that. For a Vaishnava, Swargeshu, Narkeshu, Apavargeshu, Samatulya Darshana. Whether one goes to the heavenly planet, Swarga, Apavarga, Vaikuntha, or even Golok Vrindavan, that is called Apavarga. Swargeshu, or Narkeshu, or Narak. Swargeshu, Narkeshu, Apavargeshu, Samatulya Darshana. For a Vaishnava, it's equal. As long as I get service. In Manasa Deha Geva, Bhaktivinoda Thakur ji is saying that Kita Janma Hoilo Ja Yathatu Vadas Bahirmukha Brahma Janma Nahi Morash. If my karma, he is not praying that, oh, give me the body of a devotee, oh, give me a body of this and that. Even if my karma is so bad that I will become a worm, the Kita, I only request is, do not give me association of those who may have the opulence of Lord Brahma. Yathatuvadas, let me be born in the house of your devotee, so I will be able to hear the sound vibration. I will be getting the little remnants, the kernel of their Mahaprasad. Kita Janma Hiloja Yathatuvadas, Bahirmukha, Yathatuvadas, in the house of your devotee. Bahirmukha Brahma Janma Nahi. That is the highest prayer. Like Prahlad Maharaj said, and my dear Nrsingadev, two things I pray very earnestly. No material desire should come in my heart. And my only desire is to serve my Guru Maharaj Naradji, who goes all over the world preaching your holy names, Krishna Katha. Let me assist him. So our highest prayer should be like that of Prahlad Maharaj. That will really take us towards praying. No material desires, and let me serve His divine grace, birth after birth after birth after birth. I don't care to go to Golok Vrindavan. When that true prayer really happens within our heart, things will change. Things will really change. Our advancement is guaranteed. Krishna will make sure our advancement is guaranteed. Our predecessor Acharyas will make sure. Even if we don't want it, like Raghunath Das Goswami says in Vilap Kusumanjali, that Sanatana Goswami forcefully took my hand and brought me. Even if I was not qualified and I did not want it. This rasa, he was so kind to me that he forcefully. So they will also forcefully bring us, even if like a cow, we find that on the street in the village, we find that the cow herder is, taking the cows on a certain path, and one cow goes there, or one cow goes there, then immediately the Gwal, he will bring that cow back, either by the rope or by the stick or whatever the way may be, come back. So, Golok or back to Godhead is not only a geographical location, it is a consciousness. Yatha Vaishnava Gana Sahi Sthan Vrindavan, Narottam Das Thakur says, wherever there are pure Vaishnavas, that itself becomes Vrindavan. Very high prayers, not like others that give me all Krishna. There are so many bhajans. No, we don't disturb him. Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada said, perform your seva, don't try to see Krishna, perform your seva in such a way that whenever Krishna is pleased, he will see. And for the pleasure, Krishna says, okay, बहुत दिन हुए देखे नहीं, कहाँ थे? अरे मैं इस ब्रह्मांड में हमारे प्रभुपाद जी की सेवा कर रहा हूँ, अच्छा अच्छा, बहुत अच्छी बात है, लेकिन बहुत दिन हो गए, आ जाओ भैया, come. So Anukulena Krishna Anushinam. Then we take permission from our Acharyas. Krishna is calling, can I go? It's all about consciousness. Krishna Bhavna Amrit. It is pure nectar when we have that Krishna Bhavna or Krishna consciousness. Gunarupanamnam Pratishanasva Dhanarupasya Vande Guru Sri Chandaravindam. Thus ends with my capability concerning the time, the sixth verse. 2 days in a row we did that. Tomorrow, at this evening, we will do the seventh and enter into the eighth verse. Complete the eighth verse tomorrow, and then hopefully we will have time for some question answers, comments, corrections. And I have to leave sharp by 9 a.m. because my train is there from Palghar. So I cannot take that liberty to go much. Otherwise, my wife said, I will pick you up from the Vasasan. You cannot sit longer than 9 a.m. sharp you have to. So I request any one of you at 8:45, please signal me. Please, that you only have 15 minutes left. All of you can signal, then I can see the intensity. Yes, everybody is actually telling me now time has come. So I will also feel that deep separation from all of you. GEV has been such a wonderful experience for both of us. The love that you all have showered, the service that you have rendered, although we are not qualified, but no, every devotee we meet, there's so much service. This and NVCC, they are the ideal temples. I always tell, even in an open forum or in Katha, every ISKCON temple should take the example of NVCC and GEV. And this place will become Golok, wherever they are. This is already Golok. This is already Vrindavan, the heart of His Holiness Radhanath Swami. He has manifested it. One may say, no. Vrindavan is in Uttar Pradesh, 130 or 40, 140 kilometers from Delhi. That is Vrindavan. No, this is also Vrindavan. New Vrindavan in West Virginia is also Vrindavan. Vrindavan can manifest anywhere, anytime, and it can be manifested by any pure devotee. It's not just one. If Krishna can expand himself unlimitedly, why are we limiting Vrindavan Dham, who is not different from Krishna? And we should understand that part. Some people say that, oh, Radha Damodar, Radha Govindji, Radha Madan Mohanji, and they all are not original in Vrindavan. The original ones are in Jaipur or Karoli. That's a very, very Kanishta thinking. That hurts the Rajvasis when we say that. He has manifested himself also in Jaipur. He has manifested, and he's also in Vrindavan. Never left Vrindavan. Never used those words. I have made that mistakes. I was corrected about 25, 27 years ago. Never say that. It will hurt Krishna, it will hurt Srimati Radharani. How can Krishna leave Vrindavan? What is this business of original and duplicate? No. So there is no such thing. In our vocabulary, it really portrays our consciousness. When we say even one word, we can understand. Sometimes I have to plead to some of even those Vaishnavas, even Prabhupada disciples, especially the Westerners. They say, when they address Bhakti Siddhant, Bhakti Vinod, Vishwanath Chakravarti, no. We have no right to say that. We didn't play golf or cricket with us. Minimum we should address Shrila. And we want Prem, Radha Dasya, when we are ignoring and not properly respecting the kinkartis of Srimati Radharani. You think Krishna will only stop us? No, you're not qualified to go in. Gopeshwar Madhav will stop us. Kundeshwar Madhav will stop us. Not qualified. Sorry. First give the proper respect. So we should always be very careful. When the moment I hear that, I am very sadly deepened in my heart. I tell them, I'm so sorry, my position is not to instruct you, but I just want to say that, please, our Srila Prabhupada will be very pleased if we address them Srila. We address Prabhupada as Srila Prabhupada, then why can't we address the most dearest of Srila Prabhupada, these Acharyas, with that, at least minimum Srila. Srila Vishnacharya or Sri Rupa Goswami. What does Srila mean? Anybody? Yes, Prabhu? Many meanings are there, but for us as Rasikas, Sri means Srimati Radharani. La means one who is in the Leela of Srimati Radharani and Krishna. La means also out of great love, one serves Srimati Radharani. Sri Mate, Bhaktivedanta Swami Name. One whose consciousness is always at the lotus feet of Sriji, Srimati Radharani. Mate. Mate means consciousness. Bhaktivedanta. So those who say again and again, every time I have said this, that, oh, your Swami Maharaj, A.C. Bhakti Swami Maharaj cannot give you. He is not in Madhurya Rasa. He has only given you Krishna Balram in Vrindavan. He called the temple Krishna Balram Mandir. But again, I say again and again. That is why we all should preach like that to anybody when we hear that. No, we don't need to hear that. Sorry. He has given us Madhurya Rasa. It's there in Chaitanya Charita. He has given us Krishna Balram Mandir, but he has also given us Lalita Vishaka Shashi Radha Syam. And in his Pranam Mantra, it is Sri Mate. What does Sri Mate mean? He is an exclusive. His consciousness is Radha Dasyam. And Radha Dasyam means he spread Krishna consciousness because Srimati Radharani instructed him. Go. I am crying. My heart is crying when I see all these persons in this material world suffering. Take this special seva. Isiliye he is Preshtaya Bhutale. Every word of the Pranam Mantra has a deeper meaning which is connected with the Madhurya Rasa. Those interested, they can go online. 7 years ago approximately, just Google, YouTube my name, Satchitananda's, some Prabhupada Pranam Mantra. So 2-day seminar was given on that. And try to take something home. That way when we are meditating on Srila Prabhupada, speaking or Ucharan, Srila Prabhupada's mantra, his greatness will be revealed to us. Mechanically we all say it, but there is enough time now. About time that we should realize the meanings of the Vaishnava bhajans. Understand, even if not realize. Understand the meanings of the pranam mantras. Then we will enter Rajbhav. Otherwise not. Back to Godhead is a very big place. We can end up in Vaikuntha, we can end up in Dwarka, Mathura. I keep saying that. But not in Vrindavan. Unless and until our consciousness is fully absorbed in Raganuga Bhakti. So we need more devotees to speak like this and inspire. We are not crossing over Vaidhi Bhakti by giving information and saying, oh, now after hearing this class, you all will enter the Raganuga Bhakti. No, it's a long process. It will happen, just like I mentioned. His Grace Hari Parshad Prabhu, in a recent blog in New York, he was discussing Raganuga Bhakti. Very wonderful questions were asked by His Grace Namamrit Prabhu. So he said, yes, this is something that we all must aspire for. And It is not some kind of a club that we join, or Bhakti Shastri class or Bhakti Vriks class, that now this is Raganuga Bhakti class. No. Just like a boy and girl falls in love, they just know they are in love. Nobody goes takes classes how to fall in love. It will happen if we perfectly do our Vaidhi Bhakti, follow the instructions of His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada and His sincere followers, then that success is guaranteed. Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Pad ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Gaur Premanande, Hari 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 Hari. Thank you. Jai Gurudev, Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Gauriya Guru, Hare Krishna. So tomorrow will be, this evening, afternoon at 3 p.m. The next session will be in Gokul, second floor. We will be discussing as much as you can for the next two verses. Sakshad Haritvena and Yasya Prasadat Bhagavad Prasada. And again, we will continue whatever is left off from the Guruvashtakam, and we will dedicate some time for question, answers, corrections. I already start feeling so much separation that I have to leave GEV tomorrow. What is the deepest separation? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Rai Ramananda. When we are bereft of Vaishnava association, that is the worst thing in life. So we are so fortunate, we should take advantage of each other, inspire others to get Vaishnava association. So important. Books are there, we can study on our own. But will that give us the desired effect? No, impossible. Not even in the remotest dreams, without the association of Vaishnavas. Sarva dukkhat dukkham is when we do not get Vaishnava association. That's what Rai Ramananda answered, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was pleased with his answer. So you all are very fortunate. Each one of you, those, especially those who are staying here, you are getting so much association. Just even at night when you're dreaming of your seva or something like that, 24/7. And if you're not even dreaming about seva, you're sleeping maybe 6 hours or something like that, and early in the morning, 4:15, 4:30, we are in the temple, Radha, Vrindavan Bihari, and we see the bright faces of the devotees. We touch them, we offer our obeisances, we dance in circles. Vaishnavera darshan, Vaishnavera sparsha, hearing the kirtan and all that. So wonderful. All glories to His Holiness Radhanath Swami, who has inspired each one of you. Please shower some mercy on us, that we can mostly serve GEV. Thank you again. Hare Krishna. And thank you all my listeners, everybody who has been online. Much appreciated for giving me this opportunity. Hare Krishna.